what's going on? Is Ash here coming at you today in Raid Shadow Legends. Darth Microtransaction joining me again back on the channel. Darth, what's up, bro? How you doing?
Hey, man, this has become a common theme between the two of us.
It is. We just recorded a video on your channel as well. Hopefully that's up at the time of this recording. If not, stay tuned for that. We talked about other rarities other than just Legendary on Darth's channel, but today, on this channel, right now, we're going to talk about the worst Legendaries in the game. These are Legendaries that we wouldn't even invest in on our free-to-play accounts. Maybe I'm putting words in your mouth because I just made that up, Darth, but it sounds...
I didn't know that, but okay, let me change
sounds good. All right, so you want me to... I feel like you should go first. You're the guest, man. You're the guest.
Go first? Hey,
yeah, I'm putting you on the spot here, man. Who's the worst of the worst Legendaries?
Yeah, put me right on the spot. Okay, so, number one for me is Robar, dude. I mean, I'm going to be honest. Robar, the Orc, Legendary. Wow. I know. It's the one to the left. You almost have him.
I have him, so you think I know him. Yeah.
Okay, here's the deal. Robar went from one of my favorite, if not my favorite Legendary in the game, to, in my opinion, complete another garbage. And I'm going to defend my statement, okay? Because first and foremost, he's about his basic attack. That is what the guy is about. Forget it. He's not about the decreased defense on the A2. Yes, he's a force guy with decreased defense. Everyone has decreased defense in this day and age. And he's definitely not about his A3 because that doesn't hit hard at all.
Dude, his A3 is one of the hardest hitters in the game, bro.
It doesn't hit hard. I don't care what you say. I have this guy booked. I've tried using.
With all due respect, shut the hell up. I don't want to hear that.
For me, it's trash. Okay, maybe I'm a mouth breather. I'll admit to that. But for me, I do not like the way it works. Plus, it has to hit based upon sleep, stun, and freeze. So if you don't have a ray or something going in the beginning,
it increases, Darth.
Okay,
this
all
has
right. It increases.
It has a 4.2 multiplier on it. But then it climbs up dramatically if they have any of these.
All right, okay. Well, we can talk about multipliers all day, but in the practical world, I mean, we can look at multipliers. I have that data sheet too, but every time I look at multipliers and I try that character, it never seems to actually work that way. Because here's the reason I like them, okay? They changed the way Relentless and extra turns work. Okay. It used to be like bullets in a clip, where every time you got an extra turn, you just push it in the bottom of the clip and you keep firing, okay, till you run out. Now the way it works is, did you get an extra turn or did you not? Okay, next turn. Now, did you get a turn or did you not? It completely ruined it. It's a coin flip every time. Instead, what used to happen, you put him in Relentless. If the Relentless procced and he stunned somebody, he got two turns.
Yeah.
So you could go stun, AoE, stun, AoE, AoE, stun, and you could one-shot an entire wave. And it was amazing.
I never thought about that synergy between Relentless and the old Relentless and Robar. But I don't know, man. I don't know. This guy's a heavy hitter, bro.
You know what? But here's the thing. We got heavy hitters everywhere. And in this day and age, you don't need flat damage heavy hitting. You need poisons. You need max HP. You need other forms of heavy hitting, not just I hit 80k. Congratulations.
Well, okay. I agree with you there. He does have decreased defense on a force affinity on a 3-turn, but I guess War Maiden does too, huh?
You get my point here. We can argue for him.
He's slow. He's very slow. He's very hard hitting. He's very slow.
I had a video where he did 17 turns in a row. I had 17 turns in a row. He went all the way through Dragon from the beginning. He was the first one all the way to Dragon without anyone else taking a turn. Okay, amazing, hilarious, fun. You know, he went from fun to just boring.
My viewers are really gonna have to weigh in on this one. We're starting with a polling the audience immediately here. Robar, trash or hidden gem? I think when we had Scratch on the channel, I think he's called Robar like his favorite hidden gem or something. So we have the real battle here between Scratch AK-47 and Darth Microtransaction. All right, so Robar, we will agree to disagree on that one. Although I'm not calling him above. I'm not calling him like a beast or anything like that. I'm just saying that, like, you know.
He's disappointing for me. They ruined him with the Relentless. Maybe my salt's hanging over.
No, and just to be clear here, this is not the bar none top 10 worst of the worst legendaries. We've done enough of those videos. This is kind of champions that we feel like we would love to see a buff to because we either think they have a lot of potential or think they're a little bit underwhelming. And obviously there's going to be a lot of crappy champions listed here, but you know, it's not going to be the same Tila Gourmet every single time on every single video, right? So mine, I'm going to start with this dude. Why am I in Bannerlord? I'm like, what am I doing? I'm going to start with Sacred Order. Now I'm going to go with Errol. So
I almost put him on my list.
Errol is a guy that like I really want to give some viable solutions. He's fast and he's hard hitting and his damage scales pretty well because his base attack is 1674. That's the good news. The bad news is he's about as boring as a champion as they come inside this game, right? He's got a single hitter on the A1, whatever. Single hitter, three-time hitter on the A2. Ignores defense, great. And then negation, steals buffs, then attacks them. Extra 30% chance of inflicting a critical hit. Man, these single target damage dealers are a dime a dozen in this game. This guy is not interesting enough, especially with all the new additions to the game. You know, a legacy champion, you talked about this on your video too. Legacy champions, back in the day, Errol was special. Now, not so much. Here's what I want to see on Errol. I want to see on the A1 an extra hit if the target has any debuffs. It's already a hard-hitting A1. It's a 3.9 multiplier, so it's pretty high. So I think that, you know, that's not the buff that's going to make him OP or anything, but I think that then at least you can run him on ally attack teams, counter-attack teams against kind of Doom Tower bosses and get a really hard-hitting, kind of like a Fenax version legendary, right? A harder-hitting Fenax on the A1. So that's one solution. On the A2, they could just increase multiplier a little bit on this as well. It's a 1.5 multiplier times 3, which isn't too bad, but we're ignoring defense on that. I'd like to see a little bit higher. I'd like to see him really be the damage dealer that he can be with this high of an attack, one of the highest in the game. So I guess those are my ideas. What do you think of Errol, Darth?
Errol was almost on my list. I replaced him with somebody else who you'll realize why.
Okay.
And he does have a cool cape. My problem with Errol is my same problem with Robar, which is that just dealing damage I don't care about that. Like, just dealing damage has never been a thing I care about because I feel like in order to beat most of the things in the game, it's a puzzle of like, you need decreased turn meter, or you need this, or you need provoke, or whatever. It's a puzzle to beat it. And nowhere in any of these puzzles is it just, you just need to nuke them unless we're talking about like Spider or something, I guess. You know? And so for me, I don't really like those type of champions. So I 100%.
Yeah, and heck, like, this is kind of crazy to say, but you could almost rework him and change like his A3 into an enemy max HP ability. Not a huge multiplier one, but more like on the scale of Armager or something like that. You know, maybe a little bit better than that. But then, you know, that wouldn't make him OP at all. I don't think that's enough to make him amazing because you couldn't use him against the Doom Tower bosses. You couldn't use him against 21 to 25 dungeons, but at least you could take him in there and run him. People struggling against 18, 19 Spider and 20 Spider that wouldn't work.
You know what he needs? What he needs a passive like Elder Skarg where it's 15%, but it's just 15% of every time he hits somebody has a chance of removing a buff just on every move. You know what I mean? So when you have charges or something like that, he has more use. The basic has more use.
Maybe. Yeah, okay, so we agree. You need some love. You guys let us know what your ideas you have. Who's your second champion, Darth?
Okay, man. Now, this one I don't think you're going to have any problems with. It's Samar out of the Dwarves.
He's my second legendary on my free-to-play account. Good old Samar.
Oh, yeah. So then you know this one firsthand, don't you?
I sure do. Man, I've decided not to build him on my free-to-play. Mainly, I think he could help me because it's free-to-play at the end of the day. Sure. But dude, it's going to take me 100 years, even though he doesn't have, he does have a ton of books. It's going to take me 100 years to get these many legendary books. I'd rather save my resources on a champion who's way better than this guy, so I agree with you.
Yeah, I mean, and plus, like, for me, I don't really like heavily conditional things, which is always just turn meter, but only if he's over 50%. You know, like, why not just do both of these on the basic? It's not OP. Heal him 15% and fill his turn meter by 15%. That's fine for a basic. Right? I don't see that as overpowered.
I agree.
Like, just have it happen literally all of the time. His A2, again, heavily conditional. You know what I mean? And if he did the damage where he was, like, one of the highest hitting characters in literally the entire game, when you set it up right, maybe I could get it. But he's not. You know? And if he's based upon HP, why don't we have something that helps out his other allies? He's an HP-based character that the only thing he does is damage the other people if something happens. So you have to have other people to support him, which is just not what I like out of a character, personally.
I am 100% with you, man. So what would you change about him? Just to get rid of all these conditions, like on the A1, like you said?
I don't understand the point of the block damage passive. Yeah. I mean, he places block damage for one turn at the start of each round, blocking. I mean, one turn is nothing. You know, it's nothing. So you can't have him fast if you want to utilize that, and then blocks incoming damage and places block damage buff on the champion for one turn when they receive a hit that would drop their HP below 30%. So, okay, so if he dies, it doesn't stop him from dying, right? So you can still kind of have him killed, unless I'm misreading this. It says block incoming damage and places it, but I thought you could still kill this guy, So I'm not really a big fan. Maybe you can correct me on that passive, but the way I read it, it seems like it only stops it if it would have brought him below 30% HP, but won't stop him from dying. I mean,
every four turns, you get a block damage at the start of each round. So as long as that's off cooldown, and then on top of that, it blocks the incoming damage. Or is the passive always active?
That's the passive is only at the start for. So that's what I'm saying. It's confusing. So
like the passive has no cooldown. It's just always there. The active has the cooldown of 4.
That's what I believe. Yeah, it's like you have to use it. Well, you get, that happens.
He has that aura HP in all battles, which, like, I'm just trying to struggle to find a use for this dude, right? But, like, if you bumped his base HP is 21k, right? So I'm thinking you put him in a shield set, right? For, like, arena, right? An arena shield wearer. And then run him as, like, an aura lead on a defensive team. And then he's hard to kill because he's in this. You put him, like, swift parry or something ridiculous. But in order to have all that happen, I would want to see this HP be much higher, like Harvest Jack type, like 26 type K. However, even that's a stretch, man. Like, I'm really stretching to find a use for this dude, So I agree with you.
Even if the passive, let's say it does block the incoming damage. Let's say, it says block incoming, it stops you from dying. Let's say, that's the way it does work. That only happens every 4 turns. And it's a one turn block damage. And if we're worried about a shield set to make him good, again, we're scaling with artifacts, not with the character.
Yeah, no, I hear it. It's very fair. Very fair point. Very fair point. Okay,
he feels bad.
People love this dude. Yeah, I'm with you, man. Let's see a big buff to that dude. All right. My number 2 is going to be. All right, so I'm gonna go for a guy. This is gonna be kind of a fusion heavy list, I guess, or at least a couple of them. Vergumkaar. So Vergumkaar, he takes up the whole screen. Why don't you push back, Darth, a little bit? I mean, this guy is hogging the real estate here.
What in God's name is that?
There we go. Dude, first of all, kind of a cool looking guy, I guess, if you can see him. I can't even
scroll out. We're going to disagree on this one because this is a favorite of mine.
Wait, you don't think... Wait. Okay, we're going to disagree that he needs a buff.
Maybe he needs a buff, or maybe I'm biased, okay? I have a real hard time taking the fun of the game out of it. So
I like this guy. When I was speaking earlier about, like, one champion, especially on this list, who I really like already, it's this guy, right? I don't think he's I don't think he's a top 5 worst legendary in the game. However, I feel like he's a champion that a lot of people have comparative to most legendaries because he was a fusion and or a fragment summon, whatever he was. And I really think that this just one simple change. It's a big buff, but it's one change. And I think that removes all provoke debuffs and one random debuff from all allies on this one ability. The rest of his kit keep everything exactly the same. Just make it a cleanse. Is that making him too OP in your opinion? To me, it's not, because there's so many cleanse 3 turn cooldowns anyway, and that makes him automatically used in so many different areas in the game.
I'm going to say yes and no. I think that a better change, in my opinion, would be that it just places the 60% increased defense regardless of if it removes a debuff or not.
Oh, I agree with you. Okay, I agree.
And the shield. I get the wanting the cleanse, but I would believe, in my personal opinion, that on 3 turn cooldown, removing all buffs, because then what's the point of having to be a removing provoke specialist, and then having the increased defense, if let's say we give him that buff too, and the shield buff on one move's really strong, because then we have to consider he would be basically a cleanser on top of pairing amazingly with Seer, so now we have kind of that wombo combo going on, and then he has a passive too, which if you look at his passive, I think another change I could go for him is his passive instead just makes all of your party immune to provoke, and then keep everything else the same. So then he's a specialist on just your team can't be provoked. I
love that.
Either.
Dude, we agree on all this stuff, and I think that you're right there. Actually, I stand corrected. I think that it would be smarter to just have the increased defense on this ability. So yeah, man, like I like the champion, dude. I'm with you. I just feel like this ability is so close to being really good, but like you, I hate the conditional stuff, man. I want a reliable increased defense, and that's not too much to ask for a legendary champion, is it?
No, of course not.
Agreed.
This guy would be beast if you just added that, as a consistent, like he's a little buff away from being like a really widely used champion. I'd be surprised with as many people who like really rely heavily on this dude, even though he's in theory on paper pretty good.
True. I think he, I haven't pulled him on free play, so I can't speak, but I think he's worth building if you pull him on free to play. Personally, I would say I actually like him a lot. He was well, maybe I'm defending my video a little bit because I made a video called Top 5 Most Wanted Legendaries, and he's on there.
I'm sorry that people are so jealous of me, but I can't help it that I'm popular.
I can't get enough of his look. I don't want to go off the screen, man.
Great.
He's so fun to look at.
They killed him with the art. You got to give it to Plarium. Their art's fantastic. You can't take anything of that away from
Okay, so I agree with you. Maybe I'm just a little underwhelmed because he was a fusion at the end of the day. But who do you have next?
Okay,
man?
I said Robar is the first one. You get it to me.
Okay, who do you got next, man?
All right, I got pulled my list. So this one's probably a little bit more obvious. It's Abbess. Okay, from, I believe this is a Banner Lord, if I remember correctly. Where is she?
One more word, and I will feed you to my children.
A Sacred Order.
Are you Sacred Order?
You're crazy, bro.
You like her?
We're gonna disagree on everything in this video.
Dude, this is going to be like the.
I love it.
The thumbnail is going to be
This
like.
is good though, because who wants to watch two people agree on everything, man? That's boring.
No, I find her incredibly boring.
Dude, she is one of, if not my favorite nuker in the game. You picked like my fave of faves. Yeah, dude. Do you have her?
I mean, if I look on the list,
do
no,
her?
I don't. Fire Mobile has her. I haven't used her, so maybe I'm speaking out my rear end here a little bit. But
no. Let me just tell you, man. Divine Wrath hits like an absolute truck. And so does Mass Impella doesn't hit as hard, but they're both really, really hard hitting. Like I run her as, I'd put her behind Seer and Trunda as like my strongest, and maybe Sissia as my most used nukers. Like maybe like third or fourth on my most used nukers. I'm gonna run her in a dungeon just while we're talking about her, just so my viewers can see, and maybe I'll make you a believer, maybe not. I don't know.
Maybe so. Here, tell you what. Instead of me talking about why I don't like her, why don't you explain to me why you like?
Hey, you're flipping the script on me.
I'm flipping the script, baby. I'm putting the pressure back on you.
I'll go Dragon. Should I go Dragon 20 or Dragon 25 with her?
You gotta go 25. You gotta show the real. I mean,
it's a tougher affinity matchup here. So let's just go. Let's put her on the team instead of like Richtof.
Richtof, yeah.
There we go. And that should work. All right. She's not gonna outdamage like Seer or anything, but like we'll see how she does. Anyway, I think that, first of all, she got a buff, 6 months ago or so, and she already hit hard before that, but now she's like, okay, let's see her go.
She does hit hard. I saw 100,000 there.
Oh, yeah. And that was her A2. Check out the A. Okay, where is she? She's next.
Okay.
We don't have to see her.
I'm squinting to see the screen, but I'm seeing the damage.
I'm not going to go with... You know what I'm gonna do? I should have just went with Seer right there so I could go on the next wave. But
all right, we didn't see the damage numbers anyway.
Yeah, we just need to see the numbers. All right, here we go. Come on,
baby.
Okay, that was her A3. This is her A2, not as hard hitting, but decrease. That's a decreased defense. So she comes in with like 50k against neutral affinity. She's hitting for like 100k on her. I mean, Seer really shows her up there, but you know what I'm saying.
That's Seer. We know she's a problem.
I'm surprised. I didn't see because we shared our list beforehand, but I must have misread. I must have not seen you pick her. But yeah, I'm a big fan of her, man.
Okay,
but you just think she's uninteresting. You just think she's uninteresting.
Because my problem with these type of champions that literally they have 1 point, which is just mass damage, is they don't scale based upon the character. They scale based upon the gear. I like stuff where it's like I don't have to have absolute insane gear for them to do what they're meant to do. That's just the way I play the game. It's probably the wrong way to look at it.
No.
I don't.
Okay, so here's our A3 again. Let's see what we got here.
Okay, let's see here, A3.
Boom. And we're talking not too bad. This is level 25, by the way. It's not like level 20 dragon here.
I think you talked me out of this one, to be fair. Okay. I think you make a point. You make a good point.
Why don't you give a substitution? We don't have to talk long about it. Why don't you just so we can cover our bases here so my viewers are like, why didn't you mention that person? Just give us a real sucky champion.
The good thing about this game is there is, in fact, enough legendary that you can kind of go through the list and be like, well, this one, all right?
This video is so off the rails. I love it.
Can I go to my girl War Mother? Can we
sure. All right, we're going to give War Mother a nod. Just answer me this, because both of her AoEs hit pretty hard, you know? So do you think she needs a buff too? Not crazy, but do you think that Bomb needs a buff, or do you think that War Mother needs a buff?
That's a good question.
That's the question, right?
That's good. That's a good one. Honestly, she's probably bad because bombs aren't 100% there yet. I think that what I would prefer personally is a Bad L style passive added onto her. That what it does is increases bomb damage by 20%. Makes her the bomb character.
Yeah.
Now she's the bomb god or queen or whatever, right? Without that, she's just popping bombs, and bombs already get popped instantly if you overload them with bombs from the same person. So it doesn't really make sense to me. Like you can, like Lord Shazar, for instance, I can go A3, reset him A3 again, and it's going to pop the bombs. So because of that, there's not a lot of high-end bomb-based characters that need War Mother to pop off.
There's no champion in this game who would be OP if they buffed bombs, right? Can we agree on that?
Unless they went max HP with bombs, then it would be something else. But I agree with you there.
Yeah. Okay. So that's a good call out there. My next is going to be, I guess, my most obvious one, arguably, and it's going to be Pyxniel. I said I was going heavy on the fusions. Listen, I'm not going to belabor this one. I do think that her A2 is actually way underrated. It's increased defense and continuous heal. If you even stop there, it's a solid ability. But listen, she looks like she's frozen. She looks amazing. Just make this an AoE freeze, man. I mean, not an AoE. Make this 100% freeze. Like, it's a 4-turn cooldown. I think that's totally fine. Sure, Imani has a 100% freeze. The Ice God can't have 100% freeze. Freeze is not that OP.
Freeze.
What?
We need. There's two things they could do with her. Just make the freeze unresistible would be one way, because we have the Burn God in Ignatius. Why not make her, like you're saying, the Freeze God, make it unresistible? That would be better. Or the passive, if you look at the passive, doesn't make sense. It instead freezes herself, right? So then she gets the bonus. Just make it where it reflects that freeze back on the person. Like if they froze somebody, instead the person was gonna freeze and get frozen. Dude, unresistible. Now she's great. Man.
Love that call out. And honestly, like, yeah, I want her to be bad. I want her to be good so bad. But to me, just make this a 4-turn cooldown AoE freeze. It's not that hard. It wouldn't be game breaking. It would make her a really good champion. All right, that's it. Who you got for me, Darth?
Well, my next one on my list is probably a pretty obvious one. It's Elder Skarg.
Elder Skarg! This is a good one, man, because I just pulled him. I just built him because somebody in my comments was like, Ash, don't sleep on Elder Skarg. He's really, really good. And I saw that comment and I was like, you know what? I'm going to trust that guy. And it got like 12 thumbs ups, that comment. I gotta say that I'm never gonna use him, but that's not saying much because, again, dirty pay to win account, I got a lot of legendaries. So that's not saying a lot, but he didn't do as much damage as I was hoping for me. Anyway, go on.
It's not to belabor the point, but again, highly conditional for his A3 to work. His A3 would be good, especially because it's unresistible, but again, highly conditional. The passive, which is 15% less damage from legendary champions. This would be amazing if it made everyone on your team receive 15% less damage from legendary champions, because then he has somewhat of a use offensively and a niche use, maybe paired with people like No Rog or people that reduce damage on your team anyway, and you can make a really tanky team. You know, the Iron Brogny or whatever his name was, guy that gives you more defense, this guy to receive less damage, No Rog to receive less damage. You know, or even that other character, I forget the name, that when they receive damage, that guy receives it himself. Then put the mastery where you receive the 10% of the other person's damage. There's ways you can make the team extremely tanky with cool stuff like that, and then we might see more of a defensive meta. As it is, as everyone in the game knows, everything's an offensive meta. Just kill the waves before they attack, kill the people in arena before they attack, and there's plenty of room to allow characters like this one to shine with cool, unique things like the passive. I don't need them to have everything meta. I don't need it to have True Fear and Burn and poisons and all that. I don't need that. What I would like is unique unique aspects of each character that is done well. And I think there's an opportunity for that with this character.
I agree with you, man. No complaints there. I don't think he's a cool champion, you know, because he's very unique, but conditionally unique. My viewers are going to be like, how many times did I say conditional? Take a drink every time because it's going to be a tough video.
Well, I condition my hair. You got the long hair guy over here.
Yeah, so yeah, man, I gotta say, like, overall, I tried him on all my teams, kind of as a 5th, you know, damage dealer, and he's just, you know, I didn't try him on a clan boss team, but Unkillable's the meta, you know, I don't know if he's gonna run him, but he's not trash, but I like the pick because, you know, he's a champion who's not far away, and I love the idea of making that passive apply to all allies. That wouldn't break anything, you know?
I agree. I think 15% is not enough to change the meta.
No,
I do think
it should be like, honestly, this is going to sound crazy, but I think it should be like 25% in all allies from legendary champions. That way, at least it would help you on Doom Tower waves, and it would make him an interesting strategic choice alongside somebody like Duchess for the arena or something like that. You know, then you're taking a lot less damage.
Stuff too. I didn't even think about the Vel AoE damage parrying too. Yeah, that's a good point there. So what you got for me in your 4th?
My 4th is going to be a okay, this is one that I'm gonna get the most crap for, but it's not like I hate this dude. It's just not that I don't. He's one of my early legendary champions.
Okay.
And I know a lot of guys love this. A lot of guys love Hakkorhn Smashlord. However, I'm not one of them. He's not a trash champion. Let me just say that out the gate.
I think I'm finally getting respect. Quiet donkey.
But he has a stun on the A1, whatever. Like, not bad, but okay.
Solus is A1, yeah.
Yeah, on the A2, he removes debuffs, plays a block debuffs, and has a heal, which is great, right? On the A3, this sacrifice is trash, right? Doesn't do a lot of damage, and does a lot of damage to himself, right? Kills himself sometimes on this A3. So, Hakkorhn Smashlord, man. First of all, I love this ability is really good, right? A big heal or a decent heal, the block debuffs for 2 turns, which is huge, and the removal. So I think this is like definitely worth building him just for that if you don't have another debuff remover. The problem is I feel like there's so many, there's more and more champions added to the game that have a full debuff remover on a 3-turn cooldown, and it makes it a little bit less special. Like, I'm looking at Bad L, I'm looking at Reliquary Tender for my cleansers on, you know, against the Nether Spider or whoever I need them for, right, on Doom Tower. So I pass the Smashlord because of that reason. Now, I know not everybody has all those champions, so I totally still understand building him out and using him for this ability. But I hate that he kills himself and does so much damage to himself on this A3. It almost makes it like, I'd rather him not have this ability and just have 2 abilities, you know?
I'll throw this at you.
Okay.
One of which I actually like this character, to be fair, but I
I'm
don't
sure you're not alone. A lot of people like him, yeah.
True. I mean, he's more of an arena guy, but I do believe that you're right about the A3. Here's what I think we could do with them, okay?
Okay.
You make it where instead of the HP sacrifice happening if it kills the champion, if this champion goes to 1 HP, he has unkillable for 1 turn. Give him Black Knight style.
Sure.
Just add that on.
Yeah.
And then he has a chance to... So what happens is...
But why is it always a normal hit, dude? He never even has that much... It doesn't even have that, like...
It's a bummer.
It doesn't do any damage.
But he has really high base HP. He has almost 24,000 base HP, which is one of the highest in the game. And then if we had it where it was like unkillable when he's at 1 HP, you can do the A3 first, then heal yourself with the A2 or whatever. You know, it would make more sense because you would go unkillable, eat all the debuffs, then your A2 would be the next turn. Plus, I think that's how the order works on AI anyway. And then you would go the next turn, heal yourself a ton, have a chance to remove all the debuffs, and you know, you have.
Gee whiz, man! If this entire ability was removed and replaced with places a strengthen buff on all allies for 1 turn or whatever, like I'd be like, okay, I love him, I like him, you know. But geez, it doesn't feel like it fits his kit at all to me, and I guess that's my gripe with him. But you know, like you said, decently high HP, you know, and you know, as HP in dungeons as well in the aura. So like he's not trash, but I just don't. I've never chosen him as my cleanser. Partially because of his A3, partially because I like the 3-turn cleanse.
Well, I'd have to lean to your expertise on that one because I don't even own him. I've never pulled him, never used him.
Well, I'm sure this guy's gonna get, including this dude, is gonna get me a lot of dislikes on the video, but I'm gonna do it.
I put Robar, so you know what? I'll eat the Robar right in the start, and then if the people who finish the video towards the end, they can give you the hate on the
Yeah, I always share my most unpopular opinions towards the end of the video for those people who don't tune in, right? All right, who you got, Dan? Who you got next?
All right, so I tell you what, man. This one I think was going to be my most controversial.
Oh no, it gets worse.
And the thing is, I actually use her. She's probably my most used champion.
Her. Give me a faction. I want to guess.
Dark Elves, and it's a female.
I know that. Okay. Oh, dude, I said stop there, man.
You smiling?
Yes.
It's fun.
Yes. No. Sure. Well, it was fun.
Not anymore, though, is it?
So there's only one.
Sorry.
You could have just said campaign farmer, and I would have guessed Queen Ava.
All right. Well, here's the thing. Okay. Queen Eva really only has one move, which is her A3. The point of Queen Eva is that
awesome tail.
No, I mean you got the let me put it this: the artistic perfection in this character is very well done. But she really only has one thing, which is her A3 for campaign farming because you don't need much crit rate on her. Like I'll show you my build. I'll just tell you the stats of it because I know you don't have it pulled up. But the way
she has crit rate on her aura too.
Exactly. Yeah. So you barely need any crit rate, and she's really, really easy if you pull her to become a campaign farmer. Like you barely, I think it's like 60-something% crit rate's all you need on her for her to be 100%.
It might not even be that much. I don't even know, but like I agree. I have the same. I'm sure I have a similar build as you do. I'm just blind. I can't ever find.
Here's my issue with her though, is like she's based upon attack, okay, and her attack stat is like okay, not amazing. The fact that the only thing she really does is that A3. The other moves aren't good. Like if you look at her other moves, they're just purely not good. The attack 2 times and block revive isn't really that hard hitting of a move. I've tried putting her in some of my best gear to see if she does hit very hard.
No.
I haven't seen her hit very hard. The basic attack, when fully booked, is only an 80% chance to heal reduction. There's better ones on a rare. And it's just to hit one enemy one time. So the only thing she does is campaign farm, and the only thing she does is her A3. And for that reason, I think that campaign farmers are no longer good. Like back in the day, campaign farming used to be this big thing. Now, basically, everyone can campaign farm. If you start any of the starter characters can campaign farm. The only thing Queen Eva does is do it faster. And we have multi-battles, we have auto-clickers. I think that this character is overrated because people are going to be like, you're crazy, she's fast campaign farmer. Yeah, well, Fellhound's faster, and he's a rare. So I can say for myself, I've used her more than literally any other character because she is my farmer, and I don't need to use her.
This is a tough one, Darth, because you make a good point. I mean, I agree with you. She's only good on campaign farmer, but she's a god in campaign farmer. Her wings, I gotta say, her wings need a nerf. They only rival Cardials. But, you know, I think that it would be interesting if they made this A2 an AoE as well. And, you know, even if the multipliers weren't crazy, that way, again, if she kills somebody on her A3 in dungeons or whatever, she goes right into another AoE, you know? Kind of like Sissia. So I agree with you. I think that would be a really fine buff. So, hey, if it's an unpopular opinion, I will share that opinion, my friend.
That's mine. That's right next to Robar. That's probably my most controversial one, but it's as the game has expanded, she has lost a ton of value.
I agree. Great campaign farmer, but that's about it. So my last, I guess these are our last champions here, or this is my last champion now. Okay. Any guesses? It's Undead Horde.
Undead Horde, and someone you think needs a buff?
Big buff. Big.
Dude, I got it, dude. My free to play, the only legendary I pulled in my free to play series, Elegaius.
Yep. This dude is trash, man.
Pure garbage. If I had $1 every time someone was trying to tell me, you pulled Elegaius, he's good, I was like, dude, come on.
Dude, I was in that camp, man. I'm not gonna lie. I was in the camp when I first saw him, before I had him. I was like, wait, this guy seems like he could be pretty cool. But let's take a quick look here. Block active skills. He has all these increases by 0.75%. Who has? Come on, man.
So bad.
On the A2, puts target schools on kill. Puts target schools on kill down. If the enemy team is any duplicates, okay, whatever. He's based on HP damage, okay. And AoE has a, okay, here's my thing with him, right? This A3. 75%, 100% chance of removing 2 random buffs. 100% chance of decreasing enemy's turn meter by 20%. Decrease enemy turn meter by a further 0.2% for every 1% of HP this champion loses on a 4 turn.
Be dead to do anything.
Yeah, dude. Yeah, exactly. And then he has this passive too, where prevents the champion's death and keeps him alive with 1 HP when hit by a fatal hit. It all sounds great. It's on a 5-turn cooldown, by the way, this passive. It all sounds great until you realize that, like, dude, like, if he's the last one living, right, or if he's almost dead, you're screwed anyway. Like, you're not getting a little bit extra turn meter loss on a 4-turn cooldown is not going to be the game changer that you want it to be. He should just be removing, 2 random debuffs and reducing turn meter, dare I say, by like 75% on this ability.
100% you need to.
I mean, this ability to me needs to be like Bat Swarm on Nethril, right? A 4-turn cooldown, decrease turn meter by 75%. And then and also remove the buffs because he doesn't have, I mean, Nethril's A2 is an AoE stun, which is way better than the A2 of Elegaius, putting duplicates on. Guy. Yeah, so listen, his stats are on point. He's got, I can't even show you guys because you're blocking it. Let me move you over. I'll move you over. He's got 106 speed. He's got 22k HP. So not too bad. But man, you can have all the speed in the world. If your kit is not good, then it's not going to matter. I don't like him. Do you like him?
His passive is also stupid. Like, I think his passive's stupid because if you look at it, it prevents the champion's death and keeps him alive on 1 HP when hit by a fatal hit. This doesn't count for the entirety of the turn. Multi-hits just kill him, okay? If you hit through the shield that he gets, he's still dead, okay? Almost everyone has a multi-hit. On top of it, why even have that last line? Will not prevent him from why?
It's like a slap in the face. Like, by the way, like, heal reduction, forget it.
It doesn't even fit his kit or thematics. Like, there's no it's just random.
Wow, this is garbage.
Man, I think he's really bad. And I had such high hopes for him. Maybe it's because I had, like, such high hopes. I was like, wait a second here, you can do some stuff here, But, man, in practicality, it doesn't, I'm not feeling him whatsoever. I guess, to me, it's this. It decreases enemy turn meter by a further 0.02% for every 1 HP of this champion. Get rid of all that crap and just make it a 75% turn meter reduction with the buff removal, and then he's good. He's decent. Not even great,
It's like they're trying to overthink the kit. Like, let's add all this other cool stuff, and it's like, dude, there's no reason to. He's already bad. Like, we don't have to make him worse.
Yeah. And I remember in the beginning, it's like, hey, those teams that run like 3 Rhodoses, you can put them all on cooldown. I was like, yeah, dude, that never happens.
And before anyone says anything, yes, he is good in Faction Wars. Yes, he is good in Doom Tower. Sure. No, he's not good anywhere else.
Well, yeah, even good in Doom Tower. Like, not this ability, Dead Stop in Doom Tower, is kind of cool because when you run against those, 3 Siffies or something, it's not bad. But still, I don't think it's enough to make him actually like build. I wouldn't build him on my free-to-play, and that's
not just for that. No.
Yeah.
I mean, absolutely not.
There it is. That's our list, guys. Tear us apart. Who do we leave off? Why don't we just give one bonus each of like a really, really bad legendary who we didn't talk about, just to give the people what they want.
Well, why don't you say, hey man, since you're throwing that one at me last minute, you got to start then.
I will. I'm gonna give you the guy that I take some crap for defending once in a while, Growhawk the Bloodied, because I made a guide on him and I'm like, yeah, he's not as bad as I thought he was going to be. But that's just me being honest, He has this Lord of War that steals the target's turn meter, which I love that ability. I love a steal turn meter. Okay. I mean, granted, Maneater has it on like a 3-turn cooldown on his A2, but whatever. Doesn't hit incredibly hard, but not too bad. He has an AoE decreased speed. Actually, fills his turn meter by 20% for each enemy under decreased speed. So again, like, why not have him just like fills his champion's turn meter by 20% for each critical hit, like a Kale? That's my thing. Like, just give him a Kale ability, man. Is that too much to ask on the A2?
When you're asking for a rare ability on a legendary, there's a problem.
And that's my thing. Like, I think that if you fill this champion's turn meter by 20% for each critical hit, like a shield guard, like a Kale type thing, on his A2, it's still a 4-turn cooldown. I think that immediately makes him a little bit more interesting. but right now that's just not enough. He does have decreased speed on this A1, greater than 50% chance of landing it, but for me, that's all I really want on him. He does have speed in dungeons by 24%, so according to you, that takes a big value. Or that's a lot of his value tied up there.
No, not dungeons.
Okay.
If that was all,
okay.
That's the highest for all. But for dungeons, 32% is what you want. Like Skarg is 32, Ray's 32.
Okay. All right. So who do you have? I gave you a little bit of time there.
The demon spawn. See if you can guess him.
How about this dude? You ever heard of this dude?
Yeah, I read him, but he's not on my list.
Okay.
Go to the demon spawn.
Demon spawn. Let me guess. All right. It's Mortu Macabre.
You got it. So here's the thing, man. This character only has 2 moves. You know, look at it. He's got passive, which maybe gives him a 3rd move. Okay, and Peril's great. There's no, but
Peril's great.
So conditional. You have to get hit, and the wave has to not be dead. Okay, if the passive was more like when you hit somebody too, you know, when you get hit or hit somebody, it would make more sense. But he only has 2 moves. That's it.
Yep.
The first one, look at his A1. Okay, it's literally what you don't want to see on any character. It's healing reduction. Like, there's an artifact that does this. Like, you don't want that. Okay. Then his A2 is the most greedy move I've ever seen from Plarium. It's 90%. They didn't want to give you the 100%. They wanted to make you book it. Get 10% more.
Okay. Yeah.
Okay. And that's just to get 4-turn cooldown. So you have to wait 4 turns if you booked him fully just to use his only other move. Yeah. Or else the only thing he does is cooldown or the heal reduction. That's it.
Yeah. So
I have 4 of them. They don't work.
How would you fix this dude? I think that like every time I play against him, he unlocks Peril in the first move every time. And when I'm using him, he never unlocks it. He never unlocks it when I'm using him. But with all that said, and he's very slow, you know, as well. On top of all that, no defense on him either.
Bad defense, bad attack, bad. Yeah.
My idea. He does have speed in all battles, though.
He's also based upon attack and HP.
Yeah, so that's stupid.
Fire's split.
That's stupid. You know, that's really dumb.
Stupid. So this is obviously an HP character.
Get rid of this.
Make it HP only.
Yeah.
So shield him attack, you're being dumb. So his A1 doesn't do anything. His A1 is essentially completely useless.
Yeah.
I had to use him. The only place I got to use him was Faction Wars and Demon Spawn 21, and that was because of his aura. That's all he did. That and the block buffs, to be fair. I put him because he hits twice with that move. I put him in a stun set.
Yeah.
And they took me like 5 hours of RNG with the stun set. But the aura and that, and you know what? There's a video of me being on the Demon Spawn 21 for 17 minutes, and he never procs Peril once.
Dude, isn't that the way, man? I feel the same way when I run him. I will say this, though. Like, my #1 buff to him would just be put Peril on like a 5-turn cooldown. And that's not a secret skill. Yeah. Then you can open up with it, and it's solid. He's a beast in the arena. He's like a one-shot guy like Rail Huntsman, you know? And then he has the block debuff on the AoE 2-time. Or, if they didn't want to do that, they could just make this block buffs unresistible, period, you know? I don't know if that's enough to make it viable, but get rid of the attack multipliers, make everything based on HP, block buffs cannot be resisted, period, and then it's a little bit more interesting because you got the speed aura too, you know?
There's one other thing they could do too, which is the basic attack. You give them the paid mod treatment, which is attacks, okay, and then has a chance, if it lands, of putting it on all enemies. That way you can base the attack first, then do the unresistible if you want it. Then it fits with his kit, but you're only doing it on one person.
No,
so it doesn't.
That's actually a really good point. Same thing with Maneater again. He has that, on his A1, decreased attack. Okay, very cool, man. Good shout out at the end as well, guys. Perfect time at the conclusion of this video to go ahead and check out Darth Microtransaction's video that probably just went live, at least within 24 hours of this one. We'll try to synchronize as much as we can. Darth, thanks so much for coming on, man. Appreciate it.
Oh man, it's always a pleasure. I love doing these type of videos with you. Your audience is always great. So
me too, man. Guys, make sure you go ahead and subscribe to Darth and let us know who's dumber in the comments. Not who's better, but who's dumber in the comments below. I had Pyxniel, Errol, Vergumkaar, Hakkorhn Smashlord, and Elegaius. He had who do you have, Darth?
I had Robar, which I know right automatically I'm gonna get the dumber mark right there.
No. I'm sure plenty of people hate Robar.
All right, okay. Samar, Abbess, Elder Skarg, Queen Eva. Then the honorable mentions were War Mother and Mordo Macab.
Okay. Yeah, and then we gave, we listed another few bad ones in there as well. All right, man. Well, thanks again for coming on. Appreciate it, dude.
Always love to, man. See you next time.
All right, guys. We'll see you guys next time as well. Thank you so much for watching all the way till the end. I appreciate you guys. And as always, take care, guys.